I genuinely get happiness from other people getting happy, mainly because I'm pretty emotionally fulfilled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once you're happy, what? The only logical next step is to make other people happy. There is no more. So I get it, but the answer is you have to make your actions map your ambitions.
Okay.
So I have no idea how big you want to be.
Big.
Great. So then you
I'm the one that
ready?
drives that.
Ready?
Yeah.
So you basically have
I'm
to
happy.
Understood. So you basically have to leave short-term vanity things, because if you want to be big, then you have to make sacrifices.
But did you let go of control for that to happen?
100%.
And that's a difficult thing.
If you talk to my team right now, they'll tell you the level of autonomy that I give them creatively and process-wise is.
And how
Like,
long did that take you to get to that point?
I've always been basically in that point because that was a natural strength of mine, realizing practically. See, the interesting thing about me that I don't talk a whole lot about is I would argue that I'm disproportionately more practical than I am emotional. And people are confused by that because I'm so high energy and I'm so vibed out that it disguises my level of practicality. I haven't been able to build these $80, $200 million businesses out of charisma. It's been operational. So very quickly, I realized scale came in 98 people doing a 7 of my 10 versus one person doing a 10.
But that's so hard to let go.
It's not really hard if you're fortunate enough to not have ego. And honestly, it's a fun thing to say, mainly because ego is just insecurity disguised.
Very true.
It is.
That is so true.
And so, but listen, you'll appreciate this. I have empathy. It's, the hardest thing to let go is the image of oneself.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you're letting go how people stock your shelves in a liquor store, which I did, which my dad couldn't.
Yeah.
Or a million other things. I've let go the most valuable thing of all. They are actually 100% in control of my image.
I love it.
I mean, I do not micromanage. It's absurd when you think about the level. Here's why. I believe the truth always wins. So if Seth went rogue, Seth tomorrow could not leave. He could literally record the first 2 minutes of the podcast and be like, hey guys, this is Seth. Let me actually tell you the truth about Gary Vaynerchuk.
I love how he's laughing.
But I would never know. There is no checks and balances. I blindly trust Seth.
Yeah.
Mainly because I know who I actually am. The reason I'm not scared is every mistake is fixable when the truth and good is on your side.
100%. I totally believe that. We had an incident happen on Friday.
Yeah, and we actually went down a really good place instead of going to
instead
a bad
of freaking
place.
out. Yeah.
Being the bigger person
100. Yeah.
is always the move.
Yeah, and I had to be. I made a huge mistake.
And it's a constant reminder each day and every moment to be that person.
And I learned from it.
And let me tell you this, the world doesn't get upset at you for the mistake. It gets upset at you for the cover up.
Yes.
And she phoned the client. She
love
phoned
it.
them and told them the truth.
I was like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, Angela, I thought honestly something bad was happening. I'm like, I did. I forgot to order your chair. She's like, no, that's not a mistake. She's like, it's not at the end of the world. I'm like, to me, because it was my ego. Because
100%.
It was my ego.
But you owned the mistake.
I own the mistake. I 100% own, and she was okay with
by
it.
the way, not everybody's going to own the mistake. You didn't own it right away, hence why you had to get into that part. Biggest problem with our society right now is hypocrisy. All we do is deploy judgment on others while we're doing something else that's wrong.
And I think we find as females that we judge each other even more. So when you talk about like being a mom and working or me not having kids, I'm judged all the time and
honestly,
ask why.
you'll appreciate this. I've looked at that issue a little bit out of curiosity.
It's a big issue.
It's a very big issue. And I think it's a proper reaction from women in our society because I, as a white male, come from a place of abundance. I don't think there's limited spots. Women do.
Oh, women really do, because you're always competing for that number one spot.
Or that only spot amongst all the other spots, because only one woman can fill it, not 8 guys. And so, I have a lot of empathy to how women got there. I'm just hopeful that the next century, it will dissolve over time.
I hope so. I hope I instill that into my daughter that, don't judge other women, just
don't judge anybody, man.
Don't judge anybody.
I'm obsessed right now on judgment.
And be happy.
I'm just so angry, and I don't get angry. I'm angry at people's ability to judge with deep levels of hypocrisy on the back end.
Yeah.
I am sure of the following statement. every person I've ever seen in society has done things that they're not proud of.
Oh,
100%.
definitely.
Yeah, I have.
I've never, I know
everybody
it. I know it
Yeah,
for fact.
everybody does.
Thus,
And if they're lying.
Thus, I don't have the capability of judging somebody else's life. I don't know what's going on in their bedroom, in their house, in their head, in their relationship. I just hate judge. I'm crippled by judgment. I hate it. I want to eliminate it. I'm a very big believer that if you see anybody in your circumstance succeed in happiness, forget about money, well then you can too.
Yes.
You know, like if there's anybody out there who was born into two parents that were addicted to heroin and were never around, and that person went on to achieve happiness, then every child who sees that person can point to that. I think it's very powerful to be co-founders, one who does have a family and one who doesn't, because your audience then gets to see themselves in one of you. And so I think that's incredible.
So Gary, our big
Yes.
question then is, how do we get that out more? Our sort of story, because
Content.
I think we struggle every single day with our business. Like,
Content.
But we do a ton of content.
We do.
More.
We knew you were going to say that to us.
because it's the actual answer. And like even take this, right? You're filming this.
Yes. We brought them with us.
I see that. I see this as, in my mind, in that free deck that I put out, right?
Yeah.
The Garyvee content model.
Yes.
I see today, right now, as 34 pieces of content.
Easily.
There's
Easily.
the That's right. That is the answer.
Yeah.
You know?
more
That
content.
is easily like
I
done.
agree. And the fact that you answered so easily, that means you guys are halfway home. Now it's just execution. And maybe you're doing that too, I don't know. But I can tell you that up until I put out that deck, until I started getting loud about how I do the content, a lot of podcasters, 99% of them see this as one piece of content.
Oh no, it's way more than that.
You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He pushes us over there to do
Yes.
it,
Good.
to do
And
even
so-
more.
And so the answer is more. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, you know, how do you get bigger muscles? You work out
out.
more.
Yeah.
You know, how do you lose more fat? You work out more. How do you get your heart healthier? You do, you know, like the answer is more. I was saying something to Brandon, my best friend who runs Wine Library now, who I built Wine Library with, who I've known since I was 14 doing baseball cards. And I said something to him. This is a true story. This happened only a couple hours ago. I was telling him about my ambitions for him as an executive at Wine Library and why I think we can be way more successful next year. And I said to him something pretty powerful that I'd never really articulated. I said, Brandon, you know the guy that you worked with those 12 years, the one that you admire and think is the best? I currently, in my current form, as a businessman, as a person, as a father, a husband, a man, I view that guy that was me only a decade ago. And I referenced a former employee of ours who was like a C-. And it really took him back. And it's actually the truth. I can't believe how much better I am today than I was 10 years ago. And I thought I was the best 10 years ago. You can imagine, one of the things that I'm most proud of is I only give advice I took. Over the last 10 years, I have become better. There's nothing else to say. I've become better.
But how do you become better? Is maybe the main question
one
there.
step at a time.
Yeah, patience.
Your question, your question was very, very basic, right?
Yeah.
Very easy to understand. You said, how do we get our message out more?
Yes.
My answer was more content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a podcast. I want you to transcribe this interview into a LinkedIn post. I want you to write a Medium post. I want you to have your own blog on your own website. I want you to take 7 quotes from this interview and put pictures over it. I want you to take 7 clips and put it on Facebook. I want you to put it on YouTube. I want you to put 3 1-minute clips from this on YouTube. I want you to make an infographic of what I'm saying right now of like how we're gonna make more content chart. I mean, more.
And how do you find the time? Like, I know you're gonna answer that.
No, you're gonna
But
appreciate it.
truthfully,
I'll
because
give you-
we're already running the business like a ton.
I see 2 people here,
Yes.
whether they're working for free or getting paid, you buy time.
Very true.
Yes.
You buy time.
Yeah.
Leveraging.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
You buy time.
Well, that's exactly what we did with them coming
I
with
see
us,
them.
right?
I see them.
Because it's kind of like a dream of them, and Camille loves you, so we brought them along. Because Gary, that is the way we have always done our business.
Yeah.
It's not about us. Number
No.
one, it's
But
about who we can bring with us on the journey.
And that becomes a selfless act that is selfish because it makes you happy. Once you start actually letting go and realize you weren't in control of it anyway,
You're never.
Yeah, it's
not
so
like,
true.
Like I'm not in. Like, you know why I give full autonomy? What am I gonna sit on Seth's head and just watch what he does? And watch what he does? That's why I have scale.
Yeah.
You want to build something big? It's about fundamentally letting go of everything except the 1% of things that matter, which are your actions.
Very true.
Yeah.
And we've learned that now because it's an all ladies. There's 8 of us, there's 10 of us that work together, all ladies, and we get along like a family, which is very rare.
Makes me really happy. It means I said in the beginning and I'm saying it towards the end now, it's communication. It's empathy, it's kindness, it's gratitude. It's these soft skills. And look, for me, the most exciting thing that's happening in my life, which is a very similar thing to what's going on with you, but I don't think people see it as obviously with me. So you guys must be disproportionate, I can sense it, proud about the impact you're having on female entrepreneurship and happiness, right? I think an underlining thing that I don't think people are realizing what I'm actually up to. When I tell you the level of pride I have that I'm rewiring 15 to 25-year-old alpha males and making things that have never been cool to alpha men cool, like empathy, like kindness, like gratitude, that is very far away from bottles and models and hooking up and money and private. The stark difference between what these kids are getting from me on my Instagram feed versus what they're getting from almost everybody else, the level of impact that I will have on society if I pull this off to the level that I think I'm pulling it off,
which you will,
is remarkable. Because there's very few people that are capable to penetrate a 17-year-old kid, for that kid to think that that person's cool, to change their mindset, that then stuffs them, once they think that person's cool, with propaganda of being a kind and awesome human being.